will have the map advantage, I could say, if they win. Whoever wins this series is basically locked in, and IG are already one game up as we head into Champion Select. The teams have swapped sides, Invictus Gaming are now on the red side of the Rift. Newbee will be on the blue side, and the bans are already flying through. Gangplank and Talia, the first two bans that come out from Newbee, whereas Siva and Nidalee are the two bans that Invictus Gaming have thrown out.
Yeah, and momentum means a lot. IG came into this set with a lot of momentum. Sure, it was stunted a little bit with that EDG set, but that set didn't even really matter for them. This set was the one that mattered. They had a lot of wins coming in. It's a lot of change, a lot of great movement for their team. So going into this game, especially after their last game that we just saw, you have to believe there's a lot of confidence coming in for IG to be able to wrestle that final playoff spot.
Well, the final bans that have come out for game number 2 here are going to be the Gragas from Newbee. Invictus be taken off the Rift Raz. They don't want Rookie to do what he did in that last game.
Exactly. So just, it's funny because no Victor, that was a ban for IG. They don't even want to give it away to Newbee. No Talia. It just feels like you always want to look to pin down Rookie just as champions that he can do so well on, but he has so many other champions. We even saw Fizz coming at him in the season. Really later on, they can just pick for him, and especially since you have purple side pick for IG, feels like any bans you levy for him against him just don't really mean much.
Certainly does not. Newbee, though, immediately lock in the Hack Room. This is a pick that we saw picked up first by Invictus Gaming in that last game. So we'll have to see what Invictus Gaming have to decide to counter out with their first two picks. Shen would be an obvious choice here, you know, try and dismantle the team comp from Newbee and even taking away the Ashe, dealing with the Hack Room first pick quite beautifully to start things off.
Yeah, so IG's bottom lane, even though they are incredibly talented, they still have the sharp identity of just playing backline damage and not the same, just overall utility, right? So the fact that they were able to get Ashe and Shen will do great work for them. You have to believe that even though Kid is holding on to his jungle pick, he doesn't really have any options left for him. He might just end up going for that Graves.
And a big elephant in the room, both Malzahar and Vladimir have been left open through this pick and ban phase. There have been a couple of games this week where Vladimir has fallen through pick and ban. Teams have opted not to pick that one up, but Newbee are not going to be one of those teams as they lock it in immediately, and they will take Braum as their support of choice.
Yeah, so the question is now, what is Rookie going to look to play against that? He doesn't have the Talia that he usually levies against it. So, for instance, we see a lot of enemy mid laners going Malzahar, Vladimir, not Rookie. He will look for the counters. Question is, what is the counter? What counter is he looking for?
He has played Vladimir. He has played Malzahar before, and it is still a very strong pick. And I have been told it does decently into the matchup. So let's see if he does pick that one up. For now, though, they can just hold that as their final pick, because they still have a jungler as well as their support missing. We'll have to check in to see what they decide to lock in here for Invictus Gaming. Lots of picks still left up on the table.
This is going to be interesting. I love the Elise pickup right now. That just means that, especially since mid lane is going to be... This is perfect. They set Rookie up so well. First, you have so much pressure coming out of the jungle matchup with Elise, able to really set any lane going. And on top of that, they pick up the Tahm Kench, so really any immobile mid laner could work. And you know which one's fairly good? Syndra, my friends. Syndra. Oh, so the Shen will allow that to work as well.
Well, Rookie has yet to play Syndra this split, but it has only come back into popularity over the past 2 weeks, thanks to Wayless's return in LGD. But he has played it before in competitive play, and we'll have to see if he can pick it out, because it does fit his playstyle, you know, that super hyper-aggressive mid laner that just wants to burst people down. And we have seen Syndra do really well into Vladimir too. It is a possibility, but we'll have to check back in to see if Invictus Gaming pick that one up as their final pick. For now, though, Newbee still have to lock in their top laner, possibly of jungler if they do flex the Hack Room, but it seems like they're going to be very content with picking up Jhin as their AD carry, and Poppy will be locked in for the top lane.
Ooh, I love the Poppy pick. Ori. You know what? I'm just going to leave that there.
Wow, that's an instant lock-in of Orianna coming out for Rookie in the mid lane. You know, he has the Malzahar open, he had the Syndra as well, but he wants to play Orianna here, Raz.
I just...
Ignite Orianna as well. What is going on, Razzleplasm?
I just set you up, Rookie, and then you pick Orianna. I feel like... I don't know. I don't agree with it. There's a lot of protection coming from this composition. not a lot of damage. Perhaps the Ashe will be doing, of course, the primarily a lot of that damage, but I don't agree with it. But we do, just looking back at Newbee's composition, we do have a lot of threat backline damage coming out of Jin, a lot of disperse coming out of Victor. So Victor's obviously, whenever he gets his opportunity, he's going to be right in the middle of the entire enemy team, looking to just do as much damage as possible. And Poppy, I've not seen a lot of people pick him up. This is the second time we're going to be seeing it on V. Last time V played him, even though he lost that game, he was a god, honestly.
Well, let's see if he can become a god once again here and pull it back for Newbee as we head into Summoner's Rift for game number 2 between Invictus Gaming and Newbee. And we're on to Summoner's Rift for game number 2 between Invictus Gaming and Newbee. Invictus Gaming were able to take game number 1, and all they need is one more here, Raz. If they can get one more game, they will send their team into playoffs. Newbee have to find that reverse sweep to get themselves back into this one. You know, earlier today, we saw Freak tweeting about how, you know, wasn't quite sure what year it was in the LPL here because of some unorthodox picks that we saw today, especially in the match between Saint and Game Talents. It's just continuing, Raz. This entire week, it's just been a flashback to the past few seasons. Orianna's been locked in the mid lane for ID. What's going on?
Yeah, so the Orianna pick, definitely a new one. It's the final pick, so it's going to be interesting. I was looking for something. I mean, Orianna technically is a mobile. That's something. Exactly.
Technically.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. Just to be serious on that note, Orianna is a good lane matchup up against Vladimir. Can just constantly look to zone and shove him off and have like a consistent damage. Going to be maxing up that Q first. Does have Thunderlords. So there is a lot of pressure coming out of Orianna. She does need that blue buff, especially since she's not going to be going towards tier. That would be awful. Going to be looking towards Morello's first, possibly. I do want to see what the itemizing is. But yeah, Orianna, she has a lot of burst damage. She has a lot of consistent damage. And a lot of shielding, so we'll have to... Let's see how it works out.
A potential for a big outplay as well. We have seen in previous seasons what great Orianna shockwaves can do. It can turn the tide of fights. It's happened to LPL teams before, I believe, in the World Championships last year. LGD were at the face of, well, the receiving end of a big shockwave that ended one of their games. We'll have to see if Rookie can do the exact same thing here against Newbee. He's going up into the mid lane against Dade on Vladimir, a very powerful pick in the current meta. Whereas Newbee, they've opted to go for a lane swap. This is a level 2 gank on towards Rookie. No flash for Swift. He pegs Ghost on Summoner's Rift and immediately burns the flash coming out from Orianna.
So early point is we're in a lane swap, and so that gives Swift the ability to just take a camp, sure, then head straight into that swap. So he has that opportunity. He has the open time to really look for that. Going to be awful for Rookie now that he does not have flash in this matchup.
Gets a good trade back down on towards Dade once he uses his transfusion to try and pull back some health for himself. So playing the matchup so well so far, but this is a 3-man gank, 4-man gank into the mid lane. Don't like this Orianna, Raz. Rookie is going to go down for first blood.
Once again, we're in a lane swap. So I guess they just decide to bring every single person except for that Jin to get that kill. My God. Yeah, I mean, Orianna, that's the thing. She's a mobile, right? Another point is that she does shove in naturally to Vladimir, so she is susceptible to that. A good kill, I suppose, but how much is that going to cost in this push now?
Well, I guess that's one way to deal with an unorthodox pick, Raz. Send 4 people into the mid lane and gank him over and over and over again. Rookie will be set back a little bit here because Dade's freezing the wave just off his tower, denying as many minions as he possibly can. He's a level up over this Orianna. Rookie will finally have hit level 3 when he heads back into this lane, but he's got to overextend if he wants to CS now.
Yeah, exactly. Right now we're in a lane swap, so he does see everyone on the map other than the Hecarim, so he still has to worry about it. Still needs to walk towards his strong side of the map, which will be this bottom side. He's doing it very well. So if Swift does look for that repeat gank, at the very least, Orianna is positioned properly.
Well, this time he does have Kid in his back pocket to try and stop this one out. This could be disastrous for Swift as he does go in for the gank again. He moves towards Kid. There's the cocoon straight onto Swift and he jumps in, gets the kill. Dade has to flash away as well. Fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice, it's going to be Invictus Gaming's kill.
I mean, that was the third time you had to get fooled, really, right? That was the second time he went in there. They got the kill on Orianna. The third time, he's like, you know what? This time, I'm actually going to be positioned towards my team, and I'm just going to bring in Elise. Why not? Just get a kill on his name for that. Now Orianna's going to kind of back in this game.
Kind of. He still is a kill behind the mid lane Dade, but fairly even in CS, slightly behind in experience, but it has given Kid a head start on this Elise. A very early ganking jungler can do very well in the early phases of the game. We'll have to see if he can put up the pressure in this match. Turrets were traded on the bottom and top side of the map. So top lane outer turret taken down for Newbee. Bottom lane outer turret taken down in favor of Invictus Gaming. And they do send their AD carry and support up towards the top side of the map. So it seems like we're going to get the gentleman's agreement between the two teams and just swap back into the side lanes.
Yeah, exactly. So feels like the focal point is just
Rookie. He's getting jumped on by 3 members again. There's a teleport this time into the mid lane. He's still taking a lot of damage. V will slam him into a wall, but Tatai's down here now. Level 3, not going to land the taunt on towards V. Slowly, people are collapsing on towards this mid lane. But again, they are not letting go of the pressure in this mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about lane swap and who's going to be free. Guess who's going to be free? Poppy, right? They are walking towards the bottom side of the map to answer this swap. So sure, now once again, Newbee might be a little bit behind on the swap, but at the same time, they can do that. They can do whatever they want here. Just onus is on Rookie to start playing accordingly.
It certainly is. He's now 0-2-1. Rookie, we talk about it a lot. Rusty's a big fan of how he lanes, especially because he likes to stand in front of his minions. He likes to go toe-to-toe against you and take big, hard-hitting trades and play a big game of chicken in that mid lane too. He can't play like that when there's 5 people in his mid lane. Every single time he steps up to go for a last hit. He's already died twice, burnt to summon a spell once as well. And they're expending a lot of resources to try and keep him alive, but it's just not working for now. Still keeping up fairly well in terms of CS, but he just can't keep dying like that.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Orianna. At this point, yeah, sure, he can still pressure out the Vladimir. Vladimir does have a Spectre's Cowl. Not going to be taking as much damage, but should still be able to farm out safely. Question is now, Orianna's great at farming with autos because of the passive that she gets. She still is now going to have to commit to using her abilities to get it. That might not work out well for her.
Meanwhile, we will see both of the outer turrets in the top and bottom lane fall down respectively for Newbee and Invictus Gaming. Newbee will use that tempo advantage to take down a Cloud Dragon for themselves, but that's all they get, and the next dragon to spawn will be another Cloud Drake. So RNG definitely not on their side in this game.
That's not a tempo advantage. That's just them not taking tower. That's legitimately just them leaving that tower available.
They left that tower on 10 health.
Yeah, that's just them messing up.
That seems a little bit silly.
I mean, Newbee has been taking a lot of... They've been fairly cute with the advantage. Not the advantage, but with the rotations that they've been getting. But then that left them to a very fundamental mistake in this lane swap where they just simply didn't get a tower. Now they are behind in gold. Not looking good for them.
Silly Newbee, not able to take it down, but it is at a sliver of health. A stiff breeze will be all it takes for the bottom lane turret on Invictus Gaming side of the map. 2-4. Marge and Balan have been sent down into the bottom lane to push out the wave as much as possible, keep it alive for as long as they can. As long as that turret is up, Invictus Gaming will hold on to the gold lead, and in general, they are slightly ahead of Newbee. When that turret falls, there will be about 300 to 400 gold up, despite Newbee having 2 kills.
And it's not even just that, too. It's not even just the gold. The fact that that pink ward that Newbee actually placed very deep into that bottom lane, in that bush, they did it in a lane swap. They wanted to actually look to possibly bring B in for a dive, or just like when it comes to the lane swap, they can't do it anymore.
Well, Marge is level 6 happy, still sitting on level 5. Kid's going to be collapsing on towards the bottom lane, but for now it's just trying to clear out minions wherever he possibly can, taking jungle camps for himself and trying to get as far ahead as swift as he possibly can. Rookie still a level behind Dade in this mid lane, still farming up pretty well. Only about 5 to 6 CS behind the Vladimir at any given time.
Yeah, so a lot of the pressure that Newbee was able to get out early does feel like it feels like it's negated at this point. Because now IG's bottom lane can pressure up as far as possible. They have a turret at their back, right? They can do what they want. So that pink ward could have been used for V. Simply not going to happen.
Rookie even picks up blue buff for himself. He's already been doing fine one-on-one against an ahead Dade. Looking to just continue shoving out this wave against the Vladimir here. Every time he runs forward to get the Crimson Rush and Tides of Blood, Rookie just puts on the shield, doesn't take any damage during the trade.
Yeah, so the blue buff is instrumental in this matchup. He is 2 kills behind, sure. This matchup should have been going really well for Rookie, so he's a little bit behind, but at the very least he can farm up well. Maybe send out a few more of that orb damage onto Dade.
He goes to trade back and forth rather effectively against Dade. Taking no damage at all and getting a lot down on towards the Vladimir, who will heal up quite nicely thanks to his kit allowing him to heal from his transfusion as well as his ultimate. But it's fairly even between these two teams for now. Yes, IG have the goal lead, but their turret in the bottom lane is really low, and that will fall down with one final push coming out from Newbee. But we've gone back into standard lane, so to speak. It's going to be top laners up against one another. The bottom lane, AD carry support, battling it out against one another. Kid has picked up his Runic Echoes, and will be trying to move down towards the bottom side of the map. Swift is waiting nearby, has his Boots of Swiftness. So doesn't have as much combat stats as this Elise, but still runs fairly fast.
Yeah, exactly. And here's you mentioned a lot earlier, it's just that the final push can take down that tower. But when will that push come? They simply can't get it with the 2v2. They're in a Jim Braun matchup versus Ashe and Tom Kench. They simply can't get that push going for them. They do need assistance. And that assistance should come. And actually, all right.
Ashe arrow coming up from Marge just splits the wickets.
Yeah, that assistance would come from a jungle matchup. Maybe they'd look for a skirmish to get it going, but that kid is always in nearby to look for something, to get that counter engage.
For now, though, it's just going to be the two teams farming off against one another. Dragon comes back in 1 minute and 45 seconds. It was just a Cloud Dragon, though, so we didn't see a contest coming out from IG the first time round. Might not see the second time, but Moore's been jumped on. Cocoon will miss from the Elise, but Winter's Bite will not connect either. And blue buff has run out on Rookie in the mid lane, so he's going to be farming up at a little bit of a slower pace and not pushing out as aggressively towards Dade anymore.
Yeah, IG have been able to just stall this out. This was a great advantage for Newbee. Newbee had an amazing advantage set given to them from this mid lane gank after gank. You know, they really did punish Rookie on this pick. Now he's given time to farm up because Newbee simply cannot impact this bottom lane. Therefore, they can't really do much in this mid lane because they're locked in these matchups. So yeah, they have to find a new answer.
And it's good to see Rookie adapt his playstyle because when we see him play, he's ahead of the minion wave, always trading back and forth. Now that he's been shut down a few times from multiple ganks in the mid lane, he's playing a little bit more passive, farming wherever he can, only trading when Dade oversteps instead of forcing himself to go for the trades. And it's criticism we have for a few players in the LPL. SFM is the biggest one of that he has one playstyle and plays to it. Rookie adapting nicely has pulled him back slightly.
I mean, Rookie's just a smart player, right? I mean, it just comes down to that. He's much. I mean, that's what it is. He plays accordingly to his advantage and to where his team is. A player, one example that we've seen just tonight, who isn't very good at that, who can only walk forward, is Otto, right? Otto, when he does well, he does incredibly well, and he can carry his team the game. But far more often than not, if he goes up against a smart team, then he keeps walking forward and he'll keep dying.
Well, Invictus Gaming being able to pick up a 2,000 gold lead for themselves in this game. That turret is very low. If Invictus Gaming find a way to push through it, they'll even up the gold lead quite nicely against Invictus Gaming. But for now, they have not found that opportunity. Dragon has respawned. It is a Cloud Dragon V. Caught on the wrong side of the map here. Will get taunted up by Tatai. Takes a little bit of damage from the Ninja, but is happy to go toe-to-toe. It's just two tanks battling it out on the top side of the map. IG been getting good vision control over this Dragon buff. Cloud Dragon is up and available, sweeping it out. There's no vision coming out from Newbee, but they decide not to pull the trigger anytime soon. And Rookie just moves straight back to the mid lane. Still level down, but is still clearing out waves rather effectively against Dade.
Yeah, had they went for it, they would have actually gotten shoved in mid. They would have gotten shoved in bot. It would have been a bad opportunity through and through. So they just want to answer these waves. Now that they have the time to do it, they're going to be walking over to this dragon.
And now they start that one up. Elise will try and pull it out of the pit, try and stop any steal that would potentially come out from Newbee, and there's no contest coming out from them. Instead, Swift heads towards the top side of the map. They ping out the Rift Herald, and Cloud Dragon will fall in favor of Invictus Gaming, and it's going to be an Infernal Dragon that spawns next. Meanwhile, V and Swift working on taking down the Rift Herald. Shen is trying to get around there and see if he can go and contest for it, but nobody from the side of Invictus Gaming is close by to stop that from falling. So it's going to be a Dragon for a Rift Herald.
Yeah, so Cloud Dragon for both. I was kind of weird of a weird ward coming from Satai. I guess he was just checking to see if he was going to get ganked, if he had the freedom to farm up a bit. So yeah, he just, nothing really coming from it. He didn't want to check the Rift Herald.
Well, it's good for V though. He will have the Rift Herald for the next 20 minutes. So until 35 minutes into the game, he can split push rather effectively and as a force to be reckoned with in a one-on-one situation.
So just for the audiences out there, Poppy, a new pick coming out, right? A pick that really came for V a little earlier on. We saw his Poppy pick do a lot of work. Sure, he lost that game. That's just been the story of Newbee.
I was coming up Snake as well.
Exactly. And so with that Poppy pick, now that he has the Rift Herald, as the game goes on, he's going to actually be able to pressure this matchup a little bit and really, really look to threaten Marge and Rookie. He's going to be a real thorn to IG's side here.
Certainly is, as Rookie now is the target of a curtain call. Teleport's coming in too. Will get eaten up by Baolan and moved over the side of the wall. There's the Stand United on top of the Tahm Kench to bring Tutai down to the bottom lane. But a good defusal of a sticky situation from Invictus Gaming support.
Exactly, and now they're just going to look to shove this mid lane in. Maybe they're going to get anything. Nah, they're just going to walk out.
They're going to get flanked out here by Vladimir, who is rotating down towards, from the mid lane, I should say. So Invictus Gaming just back out. They defuse the gank. They shove the wave into the turret. They seem very happy with that. They head back to base and look to defend their turrets once more.
Yeah, through and through, that worked out very well for them. Trying to figure out if I really agree with that Zatai ulti. He just really used it because he wanted the 5-man unit just to be there, as you said, to defuse the situation. So it worked out very well for them. Now V might be looking to freeze this out.
It's possible if Tatai wants to move up to this lane. It would be very deep into enemy territory. He still has his teleport, so can provide the cross-map play, whereas V has to use his teleport to try and start that fight for Newbee. So global advantage in favor of Invictus Gaming for now, but there's nothing too much to fight for on the map. As Marge takes down a Scuttle Camp, protects a pink wall that was placed down by his team previously. Grookey's going to head out of base, has his Morellonomicon now, went for a late tier pickup, as well as Sorcerer's Boots. And Swift's going to walk straight into Kid. Here's Baolan as well. Lots of damage on towards the Hecarim. He gets eaten up by the Tahm Kench. Swift will get taken down by Kid. Rookie even comes in for the assist. More going to get Shockblade back. Has to flash out of it. Dade's the next target who gets locked down. But a big pick comes out from Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, flash for a Shockwave trade. You know what? Rookie will take that every day of the week. Really good trade coming out of there. Really good pick. It just comes down to IG's map control through and through.
Certainly does, and now Invictus Gaming look to try and push through the mid lane out to turret. They've got some decent damage on towards this turret already and are constantly poking out Newbee whenever they step up to the plate to try and defend their turret. Difficult task for Newbee at the moment. Tatai waiting very patiently on his Shen, not opting to step any further forward than he absolutely has to against V. Even heading back to base preemptively. It's the turret in the mid lane will fall down. Kurtikor does come out though. Looking to try and get an engage on towards the team. There was an ultimate that came out from Braum. Hemoplague does a lot of damage to Rookie. He's taken out. Baolan has to use the grey health to keep himself alive. Tatai even joins the fight, but it's a double kill for Dade. Tatai now stuck between a rock and a hard place. Marge tries to fight his way out of it and get his top lane into safety. Successfully does so. They trade 2 kills for the turret.
That's a good trade for Newbee, and now they're going to look to perhaps take this tower for that.
They've even got a big wave building up on the bottom side of the map. They can move towards it. Dade being very aggressive will lock down to Tai, who gets knocked out of his taunt from V. Here comes Swift. He's ghosting in. Dade gets another kill. That's a huge Vladimir off of the back of those last 3 picks, and they will be able to trade a turret back if they continue pushing, but Marge and Kid will be enough to defend that turret.
Yeah, with the final game now for Newbee. This is do or die for Newbee, and Dade, as per usual, going off now.
It certainly is. They don't get the turret though, so it is Invictus Gaming that are still ahead in terms of gold. You can see the damage dealt during that fight. Dade topped the charge. Marge was left untouched for the majority of the fight, so he was able to stand and deliver and put in a lot of work with his auto attacks. This turret still left up and standing for Invictus Gaming, and a slow push was started by Newbee. Rookie's going to do what he can to manage this wave and stop it from taking down the turret. Successfully does so, resets the wave, and makes sure the turret is alive to live and fight another day.
Yeah, so that's just really now living off just kind of a string. It's not really going to be protecting anybody. It's just one auto attack and that tower goes down.
But IG is still 3,000 gold up, and this is with with a single turret that's almost dead. Mid lane turret a little bit healthier. You'd have to brute force your way into it if you want to take that one down. But yeah, bottom lane turret still standing. If that falls, IG would still be 2,000 gold up. If the mid lane turret eventually falls, they'd still be 1,000 gold up. So they're still ahead in this game with a structural advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Orianna was focused down early on in this game. Sure has 0, 3, and 2 going for him. But really, he's getting his items, right? He does actually have the tier. I don't really like the tier on Orianna. Now she's pretty much looking to scale it. Just get that mana going for the later on team fights where...
You've got to put your tiers somewhere, Raz. I mean, he's been crying this whole game.
I mean, don't... But in the early on in the game, yeah, sure, he's crying. He should be happy now. He shouldn't be getting his tier now.
No, the happy's on Newbee.
All right, now you're just killing me. You're killing me.
Well, they have started the Infernal Dragon, though, Raz, as that will be taken away by Kids. So Dragon control in favor of Invictus Gaming at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. They have a lot of early pressure. Sure, they lost that small skirmish. Newbee do have the kill advantage, but that doesn't really mean anything going for them. So Newbee, they really need to wrestle this game back in their favor.
Certainly do, as it's still in Invictus Gaming's control. We haven't seen too much out of rookies. Orianna it was the last pick they picked up heading into this game. A little bit unorthodox, but here's an Enchanter Chris Hour towards the mid lane. Was looking for Happy. Does not connect onto the Jhin, who casually sidesteps the ultimate that came out from Marge.
Yeah, maybe even looking to get the flash out of him, but he doesn't even get that. So,
and still, we haven't seen much out of rookies Orianna. He's been crushed in lane so far. Was able to go toe-to-toe against the Vladimir, but nothing too impactful that we could have seen. You know, he could have picked the Syndra. There was still the Malzahar left open. Instead, he went for this champion that we haven't seen played the split.
Yeah, I mean, he has that one game. Ooh, there we go.
From Kid, forces the flash out of Happy.
Exactly. But yeah, you have one game to really see if, you know, whatever sticks, whatever works, right? They finally get the tower. And this is their game. Even if they lose with the off the Orianna pick, I'm sure IG is comfortable with their level of play up against Newbee. Say, you know, if this goes to game 3, we can still take you to then.
Kid's going to get locked down here. Curtain Call comes out, just gets eaten up by Baolan to keep him safe and spat out away from the Curtain Call. But it's still interesting because this is do or die for Invictus Gaming and Newbee. To throw in an unorthodox pick in a game that matters so much. We've seen Urgot, we've seen some strange picks in the LPL, Raz, over the past few days, but those are games that do not affect the standings. This is the match that matters between the two teams, so it's definitely a strategy a Rookie wants to try and implement as more flashes aggressively forward after being caught out. Rookie gets that kill. Swift is diving onto him in the back lines. Marge does get standing United to keep himself alive. Hemo Plague from Dardes onto the back lines. Marge is going to get taken down. Will be eaten up by Baolan to keep himself alive. Rookie's the next target. Tries to get the ball back to him. Didn't even use the shockwave in the fight. Marge has to run. Big jump forward by V, who misses his slam, but it doesn't matter because they're going to be able to take down the support as well for a double kill. Dade is unstoppable on this Vladimir.
Yeah, so this game, that was a really messy start for Newbee. Really unfortunate start for that team fight for them, but Dade is just going to clean it up. He is massive on this Vladimir. And the last time we've seen Vladimir take a quadra kill off in EDG, he just carried the game off from it. You give 2 kills to Vladimir, give you 3 kills, he will just snowball the game forward from that position. So really now, what is IG going to do? They may have the goal lead, but does that even matter?
You can see again, he's one that tops the damage dealt during that team fight. Jhin did next to nothing. Braum was taken down immediately. Hackroom and Poppy just facilitators. It was all Dade. IG splitting the damage nicely there. And Rookie didn't even get a shockwave off in that entire team fight. Held onto it and just got soloed out as he ran all the way from the mid lane to top lane trying to escape the Hackroom and Vladimir.
Yeah, I mean, the early kill on Moore, you thought that was going to be a great fight for IG. But from that point on, he was exhausted, and then he was just chased down by the Hecarim. He had no real way to get back into that fight, even though Happy was eviscerated as well.
Still, the gold is dead even between the two teams. If anything, Invictus Gaming have a slight lead. Finally, that middle lane outer turret and the bottom lane outer turret have fallen down, so structures are even at 3 apiece, 2 dragons to Invictus Gaming. On top of that, They still hold a very slight gold lead, so they're not out of the woods yet, but they're definitely still the ones in the driver's seat. They have to go up against this man, though. Dade on his Vladimir, so far ahead. There's an arrow towards the mid lane, though. More just casually sidesteps that one, too. And so far, every time Mara just look for these picks, Newbee just get the heck out of dodge.
Yeah, so this is going to be really difficult for IG. I don't think they have a real answer to Vladimir. Their answer just comes in the shape of Orianna. Orianna, sure, she has the Morello. She can start to nullify his healing in that team fight if they can get him to half HP. First of all, that's going to be a difficult point. He has the Spirit Visage. He's going to need to take a lot of damage for that to even happen. Second of all, it's just going to be impossible because right now he's going for a very scaling build with that Seraph's Embrace. Not too sure if that game's going to last that long.
We'll see if they can do just that, because for now, both the teams very content with just farming it out once again. Remember, Invictus Gaming, they're 1-0 up. They are the leaders heading into this best-of-3 series, and the winner of this series heads into the playoffs of the LPL. It's do or die for Newbee at the moment, who needs to pull the series back in their favor, and they're looking strong to do just that, off of the Vladimir pick that Dade's been pulling out today. IG looking to try and maintain vision control around the Baron buff. Rift Scuttler was taken down by Newbee, so they have an indestructible vision over that pit at the moment.
And just look at V at this moment. He has Spirit Visage, he has Sunfire Cape, and Sheen to his name.
Rift Herald.
Exactly. Right now, Shen doesn't want to fight him, and no one else on the enemy team wants to fight him. He is far too tanky and deals quite a lot of damage. Can really zero in on Marge and Rookie. So with V being that large, Poppy being that large, Hecarim being quite the backline threat, and Dade just being massive at this point, how is IG's entire backline going to survive?
We'll have to see if they can do just that, because Dragon's coming up in 15 seconds. It was an Infernal Dragon that was taken down last, and it's now back to the third Cloud Dragon of the game. 10 seconds till that one spawns. Dade, he has a Rylai's Crystal Scepter, a Spirit Visage, as well as the Hextech Protobelt on top of that with the Sorcerer's Boot. So that's a very strong Vladimir. It's going to be scary to be dealt with in this team fight, especially with two immobile carries being the Ashe as well as the Orianna. Newbee have started this one off, and they actually ping to go over towards the Baron, spotted out by a couple of wards. They do sweep out as much vision as possible, taking down pink wards, trying to see if they can get control over the pit before they get collapsed upon by Newbee. With two Cloud Dragons, you would move fairly quick to collapse upon a team.
Regardless of those Cloud Dragons, they can't really do anything with this pressure. Sure, they have the vision control of this Baron, but Newbee are going to they shouldn't be able to respect it. They have triple Spirit Visage on this team, on Newbee. It doesn't matter how much damage you dish out to them, what advantage you have over them in the vision department, they don't respect you. You have to force them to respect you.
And they do just that. They move straight back towards the mid lane, push it out towards the mid lane inner turret, and force IG out of their hiding places. Invictus Gaming is still looking to try and grab vision wherever they possibly can.
Right now, you just need to see Ashe going towards IE and just armor pen from that point forward, because she has to be the one that carries from this point. Like, no one on IG can really damage Newbee.
That entire time that Invictus Gaming was setting up for the trap, there were trinket walls that were placed down around the Baron, so every step of the way, Newbee knew, yes, they're hiding somewhere, but you're not a Baron. We know that you're not a Baron at least. So smart play coming out from Newbee. They get the Cloud Dragon for themselves. They're still 1,000 gold behind, but that means next to nothing 30 minutes into the game. If Invictus Gaming want to have the control of this game, they're going to need 2,000-3,000 gold ahead like they had previously when the structures were still standing. But all in all, a difficult game for both of these teams for very separate reasons.
Yeah, IG, they do have the control over vision here. They can really get a start on this Baron. They're really just trying to bait out these blue trinkets coming from Newbee. Vladimir's still sitting on it. He now uses it, so they can go back, clear it, and perhaps just start on it, because they really do need to start on this Baron.
Well, there's an arrow landing on top of Maw. Takes a lot of damage. Shockwave used early just to take down the support, but it's a good pick coming out from IG. to tie will lend the taunt on towards Swift. V knocks him out of the team fight to start things off. So they get a big pick with the use of two major ultimates, and now they're baiting up for the Baron. V looks like he wants to check. Will get connected by the Cocoon. Taunt comes in as well. Swift gets a big ultimate down. Dade's on top of everyone. This Vladimir is obnoxious. He takes down Marge. It's going to be Rookie that goes down next. Newbee are just cleaning up Invictus Gaming, and now they will be the ones that start the Baron.
They were looking for that cheeky pick, but that's not your fight to take. Remember, it doesn't matter if you get a catch on V. He's so tanky. You can't get a catch on him. Swift's going to just charge into your backline. Dade, he's just going to be in the middle of your entire team, not taking any damage and chunking you for everything. So don't take that fight, but they took it. It was a great look for IG in the sense that they had the vision advantage. They got the pick on Braum. They just honestly should have backed away and looked for that Baron, maybe try and get another pick off of it.
Imagine if they had the shockwave right there. They could use it in that choke point when Swift walks in. But that was obnoxious from Newbee. They knew they could brute force their way towards that Baron, and the damage dealt in the team fight is just absurd. Dade is a beast on this Vladimir.
I mean, you start to realize why Vladimir is a top-tier pick, right? If he can get out of the laning phase, sure, like some matchups can harm him. Sure, even Orianna, even though Orianna was a little far behind in her matchup off those ganks that occurred, Orianna is a good matchup into Vladimir. Problem is, once you get past the matchups, once you start to actually accrue these kills, you snowball like a beast. And so finally, yeah, we're seeing that goal lead surge up for Newbee.
Disaster strikes as now Newbee have taken the gold lead in this second match. 3,000 gold up ahead of Invictus Gaming. Or 2,000 gold for now, but they have Baron buff and are threatening to push for even more objectives and try and take down some of these structures against Invictus Gaming, who are now firmly on the back foot. After a very dominant game one and looked to be like they were going to be able to fight back in game number 2 now, it seems like Newbee, they've upped the tempo here and are taking this match to IG.
Yeah, they are far too tanky at this point. And they have Baron on top of that. V could take a billion tower shots, probably still be half his HP.
For now, we can't count Invictus Gaming out yet because it's still a small gold lead to say the least. Here's Tom Kench moving towards the mid lane. Dade going to have to be a little bit careful. Does get cancelled, actually. Decides he doesn't want anything to do with this Vladimir.
Yeah, you don't want to touch him. Not even with 2 people. Especially with V pushing up this lane. They're going to get this tower. They need to start defending.
Arrow was looking for V. Once again, missing. Marge not having the best game with trying to connect with these ultimates.
Yeah, at some point you're like, I wish we had a Malzahar. Lock him down and get that guaranteed Ashe arrow because he hasn't been getting much on it.
Well, Newbee are able to split push their way into taking down the mid lane out of turret. You know what? Speaking of Malzahar, would be great to have one right now because that's a 7-0-5 Vladimir. If you could lock that guy down, that'd be a lot of gold from Invictus, from Newbee that'd be taken down immediately.
I mean, sure, if you can lock him down, but once you lock him down, what's the follow-up damage? You have no follow-up damage. Perhaps the Ashe, right? But she doesn't have the crit. She actually is doubling down on the Grievous Wound, even though we do have the Morellos. He went for the Executioner's Calling. So we really need an IE on him. He needs to be able to deal damage. At this point in the game, we're seeing a lot of Spear Visage, a lot of just a general magic resist, and he's the only AD on his team.
For now, it really feels like Invictus Gaming, the way they got to get back to this game is just sit back, buckle up, farm up, and just wait till 80,000 gold, because if they got 6 items, they definitely do stand a chance, but the scaling on the side of Newbee is obnoxious. Poppy, Hecarim, Vladimir, Jhin, even a Braum thrown in there, it's going to be so tough.
I can't count how many times I've casted a Newbee game and say, well, they can't lose this at lead. It's impossible. They have 3 inhibs on EDG. It's not going to happen. But it just doesn't turn out to go that way. Newbee really do need to start finishing out their games, needs to start ending their games with a win when they have such a massive lead. This would be a nice start.
Yep, it certainly would be a nice start. Kid is actually moved deep in towards the brush here, trying to set up a death brush, so to speak, and catch someone out on the team. Meanwhile, top side of the map, V gets caught out. Tadai gets caught out by V. V already has a Guardian Angel. Happy gonna have to be careful because there's many members of IG waiting in the wings to see if they can get a pick off on towards the AD carry. The rest of Newbee just scattered around the blue buff side of Invictus Gaming's jungle, just moving back and forth between mid lane and bottom lane. 3,000 gold ahead, pushing for more objectives. Cocoon was used there on towards Happy, does not connect onto the AD carry.
Yeah, Newbee should really start to look to dive right now.
That's what they're doing. Dade moving straight behind the bottom lane in a turret, trying to get in between the 2 turrets and force IG off so they can take the objective down for free. And it's exactly what Newbee positioned to try and do, and they get the structure and move the straight back out of there. 4,000 gold up.
Yeah, there's really nothing to worry about on the Newbee side. You have a massive front line. and you have a lot of damage to boot, you really can't take much damage for it, so just go for it.
This time V still going toe-to-toe on the top side of the map. Shen should be fine, but Poppy's the one that's getting the better of these trades. He still has the Rift Herald buff for another minute or so. Marge moves towards the mid lane, trying to clear this one out. They've got pings going over towards the Poppy. It's a very tanky target, though. There is a Tahm Kench up here who gets knocked back immediately, so ultimate burnt by V. That's a very short cooldown for a Poppy. Will not be too phased about that one.
At the moment, it seems like, yeah, perfect. So Orianna is looking to go for her Void Staff. She's almost done in her build here. She's going to be dishing out a lot of damage with her the amount of AP that she does have. So Newbee do need to watch out.
Curtain Core coming out. Marge has to be a little bit careful. Will flash away from the Winter's Bite, but here comes V as well as Swift. They will get the Standing United on towards the Ashe. They use it early. Dade now going to be jumping on towards Marge. He's taken out by Moore's Winter's Bite. Big shockwave comes out, but it does absolutely nothing because there's no damage to follow up.
There's no damage. That was just a defensive shockwave coming out of Orianna. Marge, far too forward.
What is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was like the best opportunity for Invictus Gaming because they were starting to hit their item spikes. They stalled the game out far enough to be able to do something. But they get caught out in the meantime.
As Kid flashes forward, looking to try and take down Swift. Moore's going to follow up as well. Balan just eats up the Elise and brings him back to safety. A little bit overzealous coming out from Kid, you could say.
Yeah, a little bit. Moore is really chunked out, so Baron is coming up soon. I'm pretty sure he has to back.
Marge is going to be back up in 4 seconds. So we'll have the full squad of IG, but you can already see, as soon as Marge is taken down, there is nothing IG can do. Big shockwave comes out for Rookie. Cool. No follow-up. No one could do anything.
This is really interesting. Orianna did take that mid wave. I mean, the bot wave coming at him. So he's probably incredibly close to his Void Staff. He's trying to get it as soon as possible because the Baron is coming up soon. He really does need it for this next team fight.
8 seconds until Baron does spawn. Marge makes his way towards the top side of the map. Still no Infinity Edge on this Ashe. Instead goes for a Vamp Scepter first. Don't blame him too much. He needs to survive here, and lifesteal is going to be one of those ways.
And now immediately IG are doing roll call. They really need to start to challenge the wards that are coming from here. Baron is up.
They are incredibly far behind, but it will be something they have to try and do here. Newbee are looking to try and take more objectives for themselves. They're closing this game out slow and surely. They are a late game team, Raz. We credit this to Newbee quite a lot. They're a team that wants to fight you 40, 50 minutes into the match. And it seems like at this point in the game, that's where Invictus Gaming really want to be too, because they are behind Newbee. The only way they can catch up is to make sure that gold is irrelevant in this game.
I just don't think Newbee's a late game team anymore. I'm sure the comp is fairly late game, but they're a team that they get to that point and they fumble it, but they do have a lot of early game leads that can come from. That's just an old identity that was tagged onto them because that's what they used to be really good at. Now they're at a point where they're stalling this game out for far too long. Just start the Baron. Come over here. Like, honestly, IG is able to just finish up their Void Staff. Orianna is able to get his Void Staff simply for how long it took for them to force their pressure. Now they got it, but here comes Ori.
Let's see if they can stop this one, because Zitai is split pushing here. Baron already down to half health. Balan trying to stop this one here. They know it's being started. V threatening back and forth. They got a teleport coming in from Zitai to start this fight off. They disengage away from the Baron. So Newbee now want to try and start this fight off. More at half health from this. V will get clipped by Rookie. So they successfully stop Newbee's attempts at Baron. But now they're just waiting for them to back off, and then we'll go straight back for it again.
I mean, look where V is. He's not. There is no one looking to flank whatsoever. They're just looking at a standstill. So they can't start Baron because, well, IG can stop them. But they can't start a fight because they're not in a position to start a fight.
Got a call being popped there, looking on towards Kid and Marge. Swift dive straight back on towards the AD carry. Will get taken down. Will get eaten up by Balan to keep himself alive. Big shockwave comes out, but Marge is dead. Rookie's going to get taken down by Dade, and V are going to be looking to try and clean up this team by Newbee. Able to get 3 kills right off the bat. There is absolutely nothing that Invictus Gaming's team can do against them right now, Raz.
Yeah, and these are fairly long death timers. Wonder what they can do with it. They can, at the very least, should be able to get this inhib.
I'm pretty sure this actually could be game for Newbee, as they do have minions pushing on towards the base. They're actually going to juggle aggro to start things off. Slowly, these minions will get towards them. More almost gets taken out by, but the turret will fall. Only Kid left alive to defend the base. Inhibitor falls down. Newbee continue pushing on forward. And disaster strikes for Invictus Gaming as Newbee fight back in game number 2. First, Nexus turret's going to fall. V tanks that one up. Second turret's going down. Kid cannot do anything to defend this one. Baolan's joined the fight. They're on top of the Nexus. Newbee fight back. They keep their playoff dreams alive as they go 1-1 against Invictus Gaming.
They're going to take it to game 3. Newbee coming back. They really, really need this.
They certainly did, and they fought valiantly. The Vladimir from Dade was just disgusting. And again, what is with the Orianna Res? We set him up for success. He had the Syndra, he had the Talon Kench in his team, and just picks Orianna into a match, and he just gets punished for it.
Yeah, I mean, he can really go any direction. He was confident. He was probably confident in the fact that, sure, Orianna is an immobile pick, but he has the lane, or at least he has the jungle matchup to really help him out, right? He had a lot of help to be able to pick that Orianna matchup. Thing is, he just gets targeted out, sure, extremely early. That's really avoidable. Goes into the game 0-3.
And then every single time they get a pick onto someone like Baolan, especially the Braum, they use Shockwave for it, and then they get into a big cluster team fight and just not available for Rookie. It's always just Rookie or Marge dying one after the other.
Exactly. Time and time again it happens. Now, good point is IG was still in the lead going into it gold-wise, right? But the problem is, sure, you're in a gold lead, but where is that gold going to? Where is the damage coming from? You're trying to scale up on Ori, not going to be able to do much against this really heavily tanky lineup. And then your Ashe, what is she going to do? Maybe once she gets IE, maybe once she gets her final build, you're asking for 6 items.
And this was a 4-on-5. Baolan was dead to start this off. And Dade just says, sure, I'll just walk through your entire backline. There's no way you can peel for your carries.
Once Vlad gets his kills, he's going to be able to do A, he's going to be able to tank, but B, he's going to be able to dish out an incredible amount of damage to that backline.
He does just that. This was that final team fight. Marge gets eaten up by Baolan, but as soon as he gets spat back out, Moore just picks him up. Newbee just take him down, and every single time it was Rookie and Marge just get singled out by Newbee and they just die before every single team fight starts.
Yeah, and so I'm not going to blame the Orianna pick entirely, right? It could still work in that matchup. It just comes back to the fact that the overall composition just didn't work out with Ori.
Well, let's see if they do change that overall composition, because we have the final game in the group stages of the Summer Split of the LPL coming up in 5 minutes.